Have you ever finished a walk and thought, why do my knees feel older than the rest of me? You're not alone. After 60, walking can feel different. The ground seems harder, the knees a little grumpier, and the next day you're wondering if you overdid it just by going around the block. Here's the good news. A lot of that soreness is inevitable, and it's not simply old age. It's often the way we walk. Tiny changes in your gait can pile stress onto the knees. The flip side is just as powerful. Small adjustments can take pressure off and make each step feel lighter, safer, and more energetic. Today we're going to talk about 5 common walking mistakes people make after 60 and how to fix them. Think of this like a tune-up for your stride. No fancy gear, no complicated routines, just smart, simple changes you can try the very next time you lace up. By the end, you'll know how to protect your knees, keep your balance steady, and actually enjoy your walks again. Let's begin with the first mistake, because it shows up everywhere, from the grocery store parking lot to the trail at the park. The first mistake is overstriding, reaching your leg out too far and smashing the heel down in front of you. You can picture it. Long steps, foot landing way ahead of your body, a sharp thwack with each heel strike. It feels like you're covering more ground, but what's really happening is that your foot is acting like a brake. Every big, distant heel strike sends a jolt up your shin and right into the front of your knee. Do it step after step, and your knees start complaining like spoiled toddlers in the candy aisle. Now here's the fix that works like magic. Shorten the step a little and land your foot closer to under your body. Think of your legs as pendulums that swing under you, not oars reaching forward to pull you along. Let the foot meet the ground softly, with the knees slightly bent. Just a gentle, quiet landing. If your footsteps sound like you're stomping down a hallway, try to make them quieter. A whisper step is kinder to your knees than a thunder step. One of my favorite ways to feel this is to walk in your kitchen or down your hallway with one simple cue. Get a tiny bit taller to the crown of your head, as if a string were lifting you up, and let your body lean forward just a hair from the ankles, not the waist. Then take shorter, quicker steps so your foot touches down closer to your center. You're not shuffling. You're still moving with purpose. You're just not throwing your leg out in front like a fishing line. If you like a little rhythm, you can even hum a song with a slightly peppier beat and match your steps to it. Faster steps don't mean faster speed. They can simply mean smaller steps. Many people find that when they increase their step rate a touch, the foot naturally lands more onto the body and the knee feels happier. Try this test. Walk your usual way for a minute, then walk with shorter, softer steps for a minute. Notice which one your knees prefer the next day. Another tip that helps is where you look. If your eyes are glued to the ground 2 feet in front of your shoes, you tend to lean from the waist and reach with your legs. Instead, try looking 10 to 15 feet ahead. Your posture stacks up, your steps get smoother, and you stop overreaching. Speaking of posture, let your arms swing naturally by your sides. When your arms move, your hips follow, and when your hips share the work, your knees don't have to do everything. If you're thinking, I've walked like this for decades, that's okay. Change doesn't need to be dramatic to help. Give yourself a week of practicing the shorter, softer step on every walk. It might feel odd at first, but your knees will thank you with less stiffness on the stairs, less aching in the evening, and more confidence when you step off a curb. Let's move to the second mistake, which often shows up alongside overstriding. Walking with stiff knees and stiff ankles, like your legs are 2 straight sticks. When the knees barely bend and the ankles don't roll, you lose your built-in shock absorbers. Instead of force spreading smoothly through your foot, ankle, knee, and hip, It slams into one spot, usually the kneecap or the inside of the joint. If you've ever noticed that your knees feel better on grass than on concrete, this is part of the reason. Soft ground absorbs what your body didn't, but we want your body to do more of the absorbing no matter the surface. Here's the fix. Let the knee stay soft and allow your foot to roll through from heel to toe, like you're gently peeling a sticker off the floor. Imagine your foot landing lightly on the heel, rolling to the middle, and then finishing with a little push from the big toe. You don't have to overthink it. Just feel a smooth rock forward. If your foot slaps the ground and lifts as one piece, you're missing that nice roll. Practice it at the kitchen counter. Hold on lightly, take a step, and feel the sequence. Heel down, arch loads, toes finish. The whole time, the knee is never locked, just softly bending and straightening enough to cushion you. Sometimes it's not the knee's fault at all. It's stiff ankles that refuse to move. Tight calves and locked ankles can force your knee to twist and overwork. A quick daily calf stretch can make a world of difference. Stand facing a wall, hands on the wall at shoulder height. Step 1 foot back. Keep the back heel on the ground and gently lean forward until you feel a stretch in the calf. Hold a comfortable stretch, not a painful one. Breathe, and then switch legs. You don't need to chase a deep stretch. You're telling those muscles, we're going to move again, okay? A kinder tone works better than a wrestling match. Another small drill I like is a mini roll through while standing still, barefoot or in socks on a safe surface. Stand tall and shift your weight from your heels to balls of your feet and back again. Slowly. Feel how the ankle moves. Then take a few slow steps and try to keep that same ankle motion. This simple awareness wakes up joints that have been napping for years. When your ankle moves, your knee doesn't have to twist to make up for it. And that means less irritation, less swelling, and a smoother stride. You might also notice your stride gets easier when your hips join the party. Picture gently pushing the ground back with your back foot as you finish a step. That tiny push wakes up your glutes, the muscles in your backside, which are your secret knee protectors. When the glutes help propel you forward, your knees don't have to pull you along alone. You don't need to squeeze hard or clench. Just imagine a light push-off, like you're leaving a fingerprint with your toe on the ground behind you. If balance feels wobbly while you try these, stand near a counter or a park bench for support and take your time. If you feel sharp pain, swelling, or your knee locks or gives way, that's your cue to check in with a healthcare professional. Gentle discomfort from using new muscles is one thing. Sharp, alarming pain is quite another. As you soften your step and let the ankle and knee work together, your walks begin to feel smoother, almost like you're gliding instead of pounding. Your knees won't mutter quite so much when you get home, and stairs won't feel like a punishment. It's amazing how a few quiet adjustments can shave years of strain off your joints. Now that the step is softer and the roll is smoother, it's time to pay attention to where your toes are pointing and how your knees line up with them. Because the path your foot sets is a path your knee has to follow, and tiny twists there can make a big difference in how your knees feel by the end of the block. Now that the step is softer and the roll is smoother, it's time to look down the road your knees are traveling. Think of your kneecaps like little headlights. Wherever they point, the rest of your leg wants to go. If those lights are shining inward while your toes are turned out like a duck, your knee twists with every step. That twist seems tiny, but hundreds of steps later, it adds up to tenderness on the inside of the joint or a nagging ache around the kneecap. I see this all the time when people walk with their feet pointed far out, or when their arches collapse and the ankle caves in, dragging the knee along for the ride. A simple reset is to gently point your toes more forward and line your knee up over your second or third toe as you step. You don't have to force your feet straight like a soldier. Most of us are comfy with a slight turnout. The key is that the knee follows the same direction as the toes, not wandering inside or angling across the midline. Imagine 2 train tracks on the ground, one for each foot. Keep each foot on its own track, not crossing over like you're walking a tightrope. That little bit of width gives your hip space to work and keeps the knee from collapsing inward with each step. You can practice this at the kitchen counter. Stand tall, place your feet hip-width apart, toes gently forward, then slowly bend your knees a couple of inches like a micro chair sit and straighten back up. Watch or feel that your knees glide over your toes instead of knocking toward each other. If the knees try to kiss, press the ground lightly apart with your feet, like you're smoothing a wrinkle in a rug, and feel the outer hips wake up. That same feeling of gentle outward support is what you want during your walk. Not a big push, just a subtle, steady knees over toes glide. If you're unsure what your feet are doing, take a quick peek at the wear on your shoes. Is the inside edge of the sole chewed up while the outside looks fresh? That's a clue your foot is rolling inward more than it should. Try lacing your shoes snugly around the middle of the foot so you feel supported, not strangled. Some people feel better with a slightly more supportive shoe that keeps the arch from collapsing so easily. And when you're at home on a safe floor, spend a minute barefoot and feel your tripod, foot, big toe base, little toe base, and heel all sharing the load. Stand on that tripod, then take a few slow steps and keep that 3-point support under each foot. It's like giving your knee a solid road to drive on. Here's a tiny exercise that builds this awareness without any equipment. Sit tall in a chair with your feet flat and hip-width apart. Lift the big toe while keeping the ball of the foot down, then relax. Now gently press the big toe down as if you're holding a ticket under it, without curling the other toes. Feel the arch rise slightly. Do that a handful of times on each side. You're teaching your arch to participate, so your knee doesn't have to twist to make up for a lazy foot. It's the quiet work that pays off when you're out on the sidewalk. If you have bunions or a hip replacement, don't force a toe position that feels wrong. Comfort comes first. The goal isn't perfect straightness, it's harmony. Toes and knees facing the same direction, step after step, with the weight spread across that tripod. When you catch yourself drifting back to duck feet, just smile and reset. These are habits, not character flaws, and habits change with kind reminders. There's another mistake that sneaks stress into the knees, and it lives higher up the chain, asking the knees to do the hips job. The knee is a hinge. It loves bending and straightening, but it does not love being the main engine or the main stabilizer. That's hip territory. When the hips are sleepy, especially the muscles on the sides and back, your knee collapses inward, your stride gets wobbly, and your kneecap rubs where it shouldn't. The fix isn't to grip the knee tighter. It's to invite the hips to help with both power and balance. Before your next walk, try a 1-minute wake-up. Stand by a counter with a light touch for balance. Shift your weight onto your right leg and let the left foot hover an inch off the floor. Feel your right hip muscles switch on to keep you upright. Hold for a breath or two, then switch. It's not a contest to see who can stand the longest. It's simply a reminder to your body. The hips are on duty. Next, keeping your chest tall, hinge slightly at the hips like you're closing a drawer with your backside, and stand back up. It's a micro movement, not a bow. You'll feel the back of your hips engage. Do 5 of these slowly. Then take a few steps and see if you can keep that same sense of hip support as you push the ground back behind you. During your walk, picture your leg behind you doing a gentle handshake with the ground as you finish each step. That little push-off is the glut doing its job. You don't need to clench. Think springy, not stiff. Let your arms swing naturally, because arm swing connects to your trunk and hips. If your hands are glued to your sides or gripping your phone, your torso freezes, and the knees end up steering the whole ship. Free the arms, free the hips, and the knees give vacation. If sidewalks make you feel like you're tiptoeing on a high wire, give yourself a wider base. Many people walk with their feet too close together without realizing it. A slightly wider stance, those train tracks again, turns on the outer hips and steadies the pelvis. The knees instantly feel less responsible for balancing the rest of you. You can even pretend there's a gentle elastic band around your thighs, and you're keeping a little tension on it as you step. It's subtle, but it stops that inward knee drift that grinds a joint. For days when the hips feel extra sleepy, a short pre-walk routine can make your knees smile. March in place for 30 seconds with slow, deliberate steps, placing each foot softly and stacking the over toes. Then do a few side steps along the counter, keeping your toes facing forward and your chest tall, feeling the outer hips help you move. Finish with heel-toe rocks to wake the ankles again. None of this should hurt. You're just letting your body know, hey team, we're about to move together. If you find yourself tiring and your form slipping halfway through a walk, that's your cue to shorten the loop a bit or add a mini pause. Lean on a fence or a tree, reset your tall posture, take a few deep breaths, and remind your hips to lead and your feet to roll. Quality beats quantity when it comes to joint happiness. 10 minutes of aligned steps do more for your knees than 30 minutes of twisting, stomping ones. And let's talk honestly about discomfort. A little muscular effort in the hips or calves as you learn new patterns is normal, like meeting an old muscle you haven't seen since the 90s. Sharp pain, catching, or swelling that lingers is not an "I'm getting stronger" sign. It's a "let's check in" sign. In that case, it's wise to consult a physical therapist or healthcare provider who can watch you walk and tailor these ideas to your body. There's enormous power in personalized tweaks. As these alignment and hip support habits settle in, many people notice surprising changes beyond the knees. The lower back relaxes because it isn't constantly twisting to keep you upright. The feet stop cramping because they're sharing the work instead of gripping for dear life. Even your breathing can feel easier when your posture stacks and the arms swing. Walking becomes less of a chore and more of a recharge, which is exactly what it should be at any age. You've softened the step, smoothed the roll, lined up the headlights, and invited the hips to co-lead. Keep noticing the small wins, a quieter footfall, an easier stare, a walk that doesn't echo in your knees at night. Those are the signs you're on the right track. And once your body is moving as a team, there's one everyday choice that can either cushion every step or quietly sabotage all this progress without you realizing it. The kind of thing we touch every time we head out the door: your shoes. The right pair can make every step feel cushioned and steady. The wrong pair can tilt your knee like a crooked picture frame. A common mistake after 60 is trusting any old shoe, especially the comfy pair that's been by the door for years. They may feel familiar, but broken down cushioning in a floppy heel can let your foot cave and twist and pass that stress right up to the knee. Here's an easy way to check what you're walking on. Pick up your shoe and look at the bottom. Is one side worn down more than the other, especially the inside edge? Does the heel squish or tilt when you press it on a table? If the shoe leans, your ankle will too. Next, give the shoe a little bend. It should flex near the toes, not fold like a taco in the middle. Then pinch the heel counter, the firm part around your heel. You want to hold its shape, not collapse like a paper cup. A stable heel helps your foot land straight, so your knee lines up without effort. When you shop, Aim for a walking or running shoe that feels stable, not wobbly. The moment you put on, stand and take a few steps. Your toes should have room to wiggle, with about a thumb's width between the longest toe and the front. If your toes feel squished or your foot tingles, that's a no. A slightly wider toe box often helps if you have bunions or your feet swell later in the day. Try shoes on in the afternoon when feet are a little bigger, and bring the socks you actually wear for walks. Slippery dress socks make everything feel looser than it will be in real life. Laces matter too. If your heel slides up and down, use the top eyelets to make a little runner's loop. Thread the lace through the top hole on the same side to make a small loop. Do the same on the other side, and then cross the laces through those loops before tying. It gently locks your heel in without over-tightening the forefoot. If the front of your foot goes numb, loosen the lower laces slightly and keep the top snug. You want firm handshake, not vice grip. What about cushioning? Soft is nice, but too much squish can feel like walking on a boat, especially if balance isn't your best friend. Look for cushioning that feels plush underfoot, but stable on the sides. If the shoe lets you wobble, your knee will chase that wobble step after step. And if you use insoles or orthotics, bring them to store and try them inside the new shoe. An insole that worked in one model might not play nicely in another. Shoes have a lifespan, even if they still look okay. Most walking shoes are ready to retire somewhere around 300 to 500 miles, which could be as little as 6 months if you walk daily. If you're not counting miles, pay attention to feeling. When your joints start grumbling more than usual and nothing else changed, peek at your shoes. Sometimes that alone explains the ache. Rotating between two pairs can also give the foam time to bounce back and keep you more comfortable. If balance is a worry, a slightly lower heel-to-toe drop can feel more grounded. If your ankles feel stiff and you struggle to roll through, some people like a gentle rocker-style sole because it helps you glide. There isn't one perfect shoe for everyone, so trust your body's vote. You should feel supported and steady right away. No break-in pain required. Socks don't get much attention, but they should. A good pair that wicks moisture and doesn't bunch can prevent hot spots that make you change your stride without realizing it. If your feet slip inside the shoe, your toes will grip to hang on, and that tension travels up the chain. Smooth, comfy, not too thick, not too thin, just right is best. While we're talking about everyday choices, the route under your feet matters too. Concrete is unforgiving. If you have the option, mix in stretches on a track, packed dirt, or grass that's even and safe. You'll feel the difference in your knees at the end of the walk. If you enjoy hills, lovely, just take smaller, softer steps downhill and let your knees stay bent instead of bracing straight. Uphill, lean slightly from the ankles and keep that gentle push off behind you so the hips drive the effort. If a cane or walking poles help you feel more secure, use them proudly. A little extra support can take pressure off the knees and let you move with confidence rather than tension. Here's a small habit that saves knees, especially on longer walks. A form check every few minutes. Lift tall to the crown of your head, eyes on the horizon, shoulders easy, arms swinging, steps a little shorter and softer, toes and knees traveling together, feet landing on their own train tracks. Then feel the gentle push off from the back leg and the smooth roll through the ankle. This 15-second reset brings all your work back online and keeps fatigue from sneaking in bad patterns. And give your knees a thank you after the walk. A minute of gentle calf stretching, a light quad stretch if it feels good, or simply lying down and lightly hugging one knee at a time to the chest can help you finish relaxed instead of tight. A cool pack for 10 minutes after a longer outing can calm any grumbles. This isn't punishment, it's kindness. If you've had a knee replacement, significant arthritis, or you're dealing with foot numbness, treat these ideas as a menu, not a mandate. Choose the pieces that feel safe and supportive. A physical therapist can watch your gait and give you a couple of personalized cues that often change everything. The goal is comfort and confidence, not perfection. As these changes settle in, don't be surprised if other parts of life get easier. Getting up from a chair feels smoother because your hips are doing their job. Stairs don't demand a pep talk. That thought of, maybe I'll skip my walk today, turns into, I think I'll go a little further. It's not magic. It's you moving with better mechanics and giving your knees the break they've been asking for. Let's bring this all together in a simple way. Shorter, softer steps keep the foot landing under you instead of in front of you. A smooth roll through the ankle with a soft knee turns your joints into shock absorbers instead of sounding boards. Toes and knees pointing the same direction keep the knee from twisting. Awake hips share the work, so the knee isn't the hero and the victim at the same time. And shoes that support, not sabotage, make every one of those choices easier without you having to think about it. Remember, tiny tweaks add up. You don't have to overhaul your whole walk in a day. Choose one cue for a week, maybe the softer step or the knees over toes idea, then layer in the next. Your knees don't need perfection. They need patience, practice, and a little attention. You've already started by listening today. I'd love to hear what landed for you. Which cue made the biggest difference? Did changing your step length or swapping shoes ease that end-of-day ache? Share your experience in the comments so others can learn from you. If this was helpful, give the video a like and subscribe for more simple, doable ways to keep your body feeling strong and free after 60. We're building a community that cheers each other on one step at a time. Here's to walks that feel light, knees that feel supported, and the kind of steady, quiet confidence that comes from knowing your body is working with you. Take good care of those steps, and they'll carry you to all the places you still want to go.